Gino Robair at the NAMM show in 2011 with Dave Smith, and you're going to tell us a little bit about what's behind the Tempest, what happened?
What happened? Well, it's funny, nobody's done a drum machine in years, and nobody's really ever done a true analog, this type of analog drum machine ever. The older analog machines were either, like the Linn drum and drum tracks and stuff, where they were just samples going through filters, and then there was a Roland stuff, which is completely different. Where this is a true synthesizer, which, so it's actually new, it's different. And then what we did is combine that with a lot of Roger's idea for continuous motion, continuous playback, starting something, never having to stop, always being able to change how you approach it. You can go from MPC style programming to step type programming without stopping. And in fact, here's Roger Linn.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had to return a call, Gino. How you doing?
Good to see you, Roger. We're just I just wanted to find out what was behind the creation of this.
Oh, well, you probably know that over 2 years ago, we announced we were going to do a drum machine collaboration.
Right.
Well, along the way, we found out that Dave's customers wanted something different than my MPC customers, and so we basically just started over, and we decided that we wanted to make one product that was more for Dave's customers, and that's what this is. And then I'm still doing my Linn-set 2 thing, but we're showing here this Tempest drum machine, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I love the fact that you can go between the different modes of performance right there, and you've got the controllers that you're going to be able to record and map. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then it all tightly integrates with the sound aspect. You can be turning knobs. He's probably showed you the sliders that we have, so you can record that or use it as live playback control between that and the knobs. It's just the integration of sound and control and the looping side of it. It's just, we'd like to say it's not really a drum machine, it's a musical instrument, because it's just, calling it a drum machine, everybody thinks, oh yeah, this is so far beyond that. It's great to play with.
Yeah, it seems to really, based on what the demo we just got, really deep in that way.
Yeah, it's as you well know, Gino, it's first of all, so much of performance these days is about assembling the music if you have one performer, for example, doing beat-oriented music or a looping performance, there's a certain magic in watching the thing take shape. You'll find a part here that doesn't seem to make sense, and then someone will add something here that ties it together in something else. And it's this, I call it the self-clone virtuoso. You're always kind of jamming with previous historical versions of yourself. And it's such a fascinating part. It's like watching someone create a painting, And so one of the basic design principles in this thing was that you never had to stop. The beat never stops. You can create a beat here, and without stopping, you switch and create another beat. Without stopping, you create another beat. And you can make it in real-time programming, you can make it in step-time programming, you can do all those manipulations to it, the recorded animations, and then you can have the pads be different beats that you've created, arrange them in real time, have it record the arrangement into a song in real time, play that arrangement in a loop while you're doing other things, exit the loop, come back into the loop. You never have to stop. And it really makes it, when you put all those things together, it creates a whole new form of musical instrument that is really meant for the creation, manipulation, and arrangement of beat-oriented music. And I think that's one of the things that's very exciting about it. Then if you add that the fact that in today's music, and once again, as you well know, sound creation is an integral part of composition. And the analog voices, there's a character about them, the way they respond non-linearly, in things like feedback and audio modulation, that it really has a wonderful organic sound to it. You put this all together and it makes a great composition and performance instrument. Best way to put it.
So your customers are probably excited about, you said this was kind of aimed towards more of your world.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we think it's going to cover, there's kind of this MPC thing, and then there's kind of the electro side, the step programming side. We think both sides are going to love this.
Well, that's what I was just thinking, with the pads the way they're operating right now, I can't imagine an MPC user not
of course.
getting excited about
and
that.
It's a new sound.
Yeah.
Everybody's been dealing with samples for so long, and they have to stack 30 of them to make it something new. Well, you don't have to do that here, because it's a new sound, and it responds as you're playing back. It's not just the same thing over and over again. So, and again, it's a musical instrument.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not for the MPC people, but I've never made an analog product in my life, and a lot of the MPC people, they're not as focused on that. But at the same time, I think if they try it out, it's this musical instrument quality about it, I think will attract them.
It's a very intuitive interface where you just grab something and turn it, something happens, you go, okay. And you
Yeah,
know right
exactly.
away what's happening.
Yeah, and it just all, that's Roger's work, everything just makes sense. Everybody knows kind of how stuff works, but there's a familiarity with this product
Yeah.
where everything is, oh, yeah, okay, of course, yeah, blah, 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 of course, blah, 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 blah. It's great.
Yeah.
So we're here the first day of the show. How's the reaction been? I mean, it's more
been
crowded than
very
usual
good.
today.
It's been incredible. It's great.
So you've got a working prototype that sounds amazing, which is also rarity. But it's still going to take you until mid-year.
Yeah, maybe May. We'll start shipping, start getting some out. So.
Well, I have quite a lot of experience in announcing products and not having them ship on time, and that's where Dave comes in very well.
We get the suckers out the door. When they're ready, they work, they sound great, we ship.
I was surprised it sounds like it's ready to go right now. I mean,
Well, yeah, people have been using this already, and it actually works well enough to be a real instrument already. Even though we've got a lot of little things, and all the voicing, and the usual crap you have to go through to get a product out the door. It's one thing to get something that you can show, and another thing to actually ship a finished product. But we feel pretty confident that we'll get it ready out.
You're working real hard to keep it around that $2,000 price point or so.
Yeah, I think the $19.99 is where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Because that's I didn't mention that earlier, but this thing is also a 6-voice analog synthesizer, polysynth.
Keyboards.
You plug a keyboard into it, and you got a 6-voice synth. So when you consider that, that's kind of its secret life.
Yes.
It's this drum machine, loop machine, analog monster, but it's also a polysynth.
So you have the MoFo sort of voice architecture in there, does that give you a head start a little bit in that?
If you're familiar with our other products, you'll catch on really quickly, but we go well beyond that. Because each voice has 2 analog oscillators, but it also has 2 samples you can use per voice. And we added in a high pass that the other products don't have. We kept the feedback, of course, because we have to. We have a stereo audio distortion on the mix. We have a stereo analog compressor on it also that we don't have in our other products. So it's 100% analog signal chain.
And the nice thing too is that we did a lot of things that you normally do in the digital domain, in the analog domain, like on the mixer for the drums, the 32 drums per beat, there is a delay send, but it sends to a MIDI delay instead of digital delay. And then we have a stutter effect that is not done with a delay loop, but rather it just does it in the sequence. So you can, for example, just hold a pad while the roll button, which you use for stutter in beat mode, and it'll, as long as you're holding it down, it'll stutter the beat, and then you release it and it takes back where it left off.
Right on, it's great.
So it keeps everything in the analog domain, so you get that same analog quality.
With the feel that you normally use for all your other production work.
Yeah.
That style of beat.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. I'm real excited. Thank you very much for spending time with us.
Good to see you, Gino.
Good to see you. Good to see you
see
the
you,
first
Gino.
day. Hopefully we'll be chipper in a couple of days.